Hello dear Familienhaus friends. Today I want to talk about how to get your child safely from point A to point B. The days are getting brighter and also longer, and for many parents this is a good time to slowly teach their children how to go to school safely on their own. Today we would like to look together at how you can prepare your child actively and safely for the roads. The most important rule is that you as a parent, as always, are a role model. Therefore, the most things that a child can learn is from the exemplary behavior of people they love rather than from constructive instructions. Therefore, parents and older siblings should also observe the traffic rules at any moment. This also applies when you are walking by foot. For example, when entering the biking path, look to see if a cyclist is coming. Look to the left and look to the right. Do this always so your child sees that it is a need to do. Most children don't learn to distinguish left from right until they are 7. So it is important to look both ways, even if they don't know which is which. Also, crossing a traffic light should only be done when the light is green, obviously. At about the age of 5, children can recognize colors well. Distinguish between light and dark. They can see if a traffic light is green or red. When planning the route to school, the shortest route is not always the safest. It is no use if your child can only walk 5 minutes to school, but the route leads across a busy street without a crosswalk. When planning your route to school, keep the following things in mind. Narrow streets, unclear intersections, or many entrances and exits that are not clearly visible are difficult for children. In particular, keep in mind that they are small, and their small size and limited field of vision means that they can see much less than you can as an adult. Also, motorists and other road users may not see your children as quickly if they are halfway behind a tree or a car, for example. Traffic lights or crosswalks, lane islands, and underpasses or overpasses that pass traffic are all things that make it easier for your children to go to school. It is advisable to dress your children in very bright colors for road traffic. In addition to bright or luminous coloring, reflectors are also a very good option. It is also advisable to let your child wear one of these vests, because everyone in the traffic can see your child then. Before you let your children walk to school alone, it is important that you practice walking together. It's best to do this at times when your children are walking to or from school. This way you can experience together what the traffic is like at this time of the day and discuss and practice possible obstacles in advance. It is important that you always make it clear when you are on the sidewalk and when you are in traffic lane or bike lane. Also keep in mind that it is even harder for children to judge distances and speed than it is for adults. At 5 years old, they can't even tell if a car is stationary and not moving or moving. The development of being able to estimate speed or therefore braking distances continues into adolescence. In the first day of school, your children should be accompanied on their way to school. It is important to leave on time and always take the same route. In addition, you should not run errands or other detours so you can really only concentrate on the way to school. Between 5 and 10 times this will be necessary to gain a confidence of the child. Also make it clear to your child that please only this route is taken and not any other routes. No music in their ears, no game cue, and no phone in their hand. They should be concentrated at all times. Even if your child can walk to school on his own, he should be supported at the beginning. If the child behaves correctly, he, she, or they should be praised. If it comes to a difficult place, it must be helped. It is okay to observe your children when they are first going out on their own and to give them hints and tips in difficult traffic situations. Younger children in particular see exclusively from their perspective. What they don't see doesn't exist for them. It is not until they're about 9 years old that they develop an awareness of positions, perspective, and speed. Children also behave differently when it comes to hearing. They perceive many sounds but cannot distinguish the important ones from the unimportant ones. At 6 or 7 years old, your children can't yet tell which direction a sound is coming from. Therefore, they rely more often on what they see. If children feel overwhelmed, they may cover their ears or eyes. They don't want to see or hear anything anymore, and they think that you won't notice them either. Children see and hear more slowly than adults. That's why it's all the more important to make them aware of dangers. When your children are in elementary school, their sense of this slowly sharpens. This has to do with the fact that their concentration increases at that age. At around 9 or 10 years old, they can pay attention for a longer period of time than before, and also notice what is important and what is not important in situations. If it is possible, you should also pick your children up from school in their early days. The same applies here on the way there. The way must be also very planned, must be safe and always the same. If the child is walking alone, he or she or they should also come straight from school to home. If you take your children to school by car, they must be transported only in the approved child seats. It is important that you always let your child out on the sidewalk side. Before opening the door, you should also check to see if another road user is coming. If you bring your children to school by bike, you should think about helmets for you and the child. In addition, children under the age of 7 may only be transported in special bicycle seats. If it is not possible for you, as a parent, to bring your children to school by yourselves, a trusted person only should be chosen for this task. It is also possible to join forces with parents whose children go to the same school. Of course, in the current situation, make sure that you do not violate the contact restrictions and hygiene rules. If you have several children going to the same directions, perhaps they can go together. Each child should be well rested. If they are not wide awake, they may endanger themselves and others. And if it gets late, do not rush. Writing an apology is less bad than risking an accident. Always have this in mind and communicate it to your child. Either way, it is worthwhile to practice focusing on something with your children over and over again. This can be done in many everyday situations or playful at home. For example, you can pack your suitcase or play memory. Continuing certain words in a song or recognizing shapes and sounds can also sharpen perception. This helps your children learn to see and hear better and to focus their attention on something. This can only be useful for road traffic, which is full of many sounds and other road users. We hope you enjoy exploring your way to school with your child. Make your way slowly and safely. The summer is still long and your children have plenty of years ahead of them to make the journey to school on their own. So stay safe and let your child be safe and have a great week. Goodbye.